Hello and welcome to Hour 1. As always, I'm Charlie, and this time we're checking out the game Assassin's Creed Syndicate. As always, I'll be playing the first hour of the game and give my thoughts on impressions on it afterwards. With that being said, though, let's get to it. I'm guessing... Nope, I was wrong.
How long does he intend to go on like this? He's disrupting the other workers. Shut his trap and get the machine fixed. And send me some laudanum for my head.
Coming right up.
Starting the timer now? Yes, now. Alright, let's see what we got. That wasn't intentional.
Opens, and I have my route to Ferris.
Did they make the free running even easier than it used to be? Feels like it. Yeah, you can't do dumb jumps anymore. It's free run down and free run up. Okay, brawling mechanics aren't bad. Damn. So they fixed it a little bit to have a little more control over how you free run. I'm not even pressing the controller and I'm going the wrong way. That feels a little bit more controlled. But it doesn't feel good now. What the hell was that? Now I have to hold a button and press X to go up. Truly the challenges that we've incurred. I throw him off the train. Nice. The combat, at least because the punching feels unbelievably Batman, and not in a good way necessarily. In a this feels kind of strange way. That's better. Man, it'd be cool to play a running on the top of the train segment. Just saying.
Time to deploy
Nice.
the diversion. I'm on my way, Sir David. First for a bird's eye view. Can't be too careful.
How would it come apart?
Not your concern. Bring back the cargo.
Let's let them go by. I don't have to assassinate these people is the real reality of all this. And up we go. Yeah, the combat feels unbelievably Batman. Whoa! Okay. Ah, fuck it. This count as stealing, bludgeoning people within an inch of their life? Whoa! The cane is really goddamn cool.
Miss Thorne will have your head, and Mr. Static the rest.
No rebels in my justly worthful name.
Sir David, you cannot be serious.
Just a wee joke, Reynolds. Once we unlock the artifact's secrets, the Templars' grip on London will be fixed. The assassins will fall, and Darwin will be little more than a fleeting memory. That is the jug of sour milk.
Not surprised. Kind of impressed the game thought I might do that, but... didn't think the game was gonna think I might do that, in all honesty. Slash, thought it would make sense if I got electrocuted. This feels much more assassiny.
Bloody Drood! I'll never finish it at this rate. Only Providence knows where those words are headed now. Well, I must get to work replacing them. Should you ever be in the mood for a tale or two, you can always find me where the ale is warm and tempers are hot.
Okay, Dickens, whatever.
What an odd man.
Alright, so that's an hour. You heard the alarm go off. So Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I've obviously just barely scratched the surface. I've been on literally 2 missions, and this is probably not one of the best games to kind of judge at an hour glance, but I actually feel like I learned a lot about this game in the first hour, and it's mostly positive. Some negative, but mostly positive. I wish I'd gotten to... I'm guessing there's some kind of gang warfare system going on. I'd have liked to have experienced that in the first hour, but they're obviously still doling out parts of it. Maybe an hour 2 might be a better approach for this game, but I do hour 1s, so we'll get on with it. So, and the things I really like, I love the twins. Evie and Jacob are a fun division of the main character, and on base level, they play exactly the same. I can't tell a difference in motion or really even combat. Jacob had some gauntlet-y thing while Evie had a cane. I'm betting I can swap that around. There's probably some other weapons I can play with. But it's essentially the same character with 2 personalities, which I like. My favorite assassin to date is still Edward Kenway from Assassin's Creed Black Flag. He is also, prior to this game, the only assassin I've ever liked. Altair was okay. I really didn't like Ezio. I think it was Connor, or whatever his actual name was from 3, I despised. And I didn't even play the last one because I have no interest in France. Rogue, I actually kind of like the main character because he was kind of a douchebag. But I like the Assassin's Creed characters that aren't as, well, what's the right word for them? Assassiny. And these guys feel very appropriate for this game. This is a dirtier, grimier, kind of less high-class society Assassin's Creed it feels so far. Like, one of the characters wants to form a gang, and let's face it, London at this time period is a horrible place. I'm not saying London's a horrible, horrible place overall, but to live in London was a problem, because either you were really rich, or you were shockingly poor. And if you were shockingly poor, life was pretty terrible. And this feels like the assassins that time period deserves. Even down to their clothing. I love the designs. Evie, who's much more the traditional assassins, heavy air quotation, has the more kind of flowing, robish style. Well, Jacob just has a leather jacket with a hood, and he's kind of a street brawler. Like, again, I'm a big fan of these 2 characters. They feel very appropriate for this game. They feel modern, they feel fun, and they're not stuck-up, tightened, buttoned-up assassins. They've grown-up assassins, but they're rebellious 20-year-olds still. They're looking to start a gang. One of them's kind of weirdly into science. they have very distinct personalities that play off each other well. The brother-sister dynamic is a lot of fun and adds to kind of the cheeky, roguish nature of both characters. While Evie could be very buttoned up and straight-laced, and Jacob could be very, oh, it's wacky to be an assassin. Neither one's more so, and they kind of play off each other in a nice way, which I'm very intrigued by. I'm guessing the game breaks down into, well, even the missions so far, the Jacob segments have been very combat-centric and very, what I refer to as the traditional combat of Assassin's Creed, the very brawler-esque, heavy kind of Batman-ish combo system where you're fighting 3 or 4 guys at once, you're throwing some counters, and you're doing lots of takedowns, and where Evie's definitely had a focus on stealth and maneuverability. You could mix it up either way kind of thing. I could have played the Jacob settings more stealthy, and I could have played the Evie settings more brawlery, but the overall just kind of setting of both seemed to indicate the Evie one had lots of places to move about in and sprawl and hide behind, while the Jacob one was, I'm in a factory fighting guards. Neither one felt less or more important, but there was a distinct feeling of shit's going down versus it's time for a little finesse, and I like that. One of my biggest issues with Assassin's Creed has always been how polarizing the gameplay can be, where on one hand you're being stealthy, and again, I didn't play Unity, so I can't talk about the stealth that was introduced in that game, but the stealth in this game feels like a decent kind of base-level stealth game. You're hiding around stuff, it's well executed, there's a sneak button which kind of makes you duck down. Are there some weird detections? Sure, but is it a big issue? No, because when stealth goes wrong, you can brawl your way out of it quite well. And unlike the other games where there wasn't really stealth, it was just kind of walking up behind someone and stabbing them before they noticed you, this feels very deliberate and intentional and feels rewarding, which is nice. And then on the flip side, you have the traditional, I'm fighting 5 guys at once with my knuckles and they have swords, and I can do this because I'm an assassin, I'm just throwing them around and beating them. The finishers and counter systems have always been a kind of a highlight for me because they were so overpowered. They've been toned back some since the last Assassin's Creed I played. They're no longer an instantaneous death kill. They may get more powerful as the game goes on, but at this point in the game, I'm not overpowered. I guess I should mention that I appear to have an assassin level. That's new, and I'm not sure what to do with that, but there's a whole skill system. I'm guessing there's more. It used to just be you progressed your inventory and weapons. There's now a skill system, which I kind of like. It lets me unlock certain skills I like ahead of schedule and other things. I remember there was some stuff like that in previous games, but this is very much an action game, RPG inspired. Yep, here's a skill tree. If you want health soon, get health. If you want looting takedowns, get those as fast as you can kind of thing. I assume you unlock all of it by the end of the game kind of thing, but at the same time, I like the fact I can tailor at least this early part of the game to my personal playstyle. It's a nice thing, and I really do like that kind of stuff in these types of video games. So, the bad. The combat's still not a lot of fun. It's at least so far, it's mash square in this case, counter, mash square some more. It feels even more like any of the Batman games that have been made. And it was always kind of on the cusp of you had a sword, and really it was about waiting for a counterattack and then straight up murdering a guy. It's a little more aggressive this time, which I like. It's no longer quite that deliberate, slow pace of the previous ones, which I always had issues with because 7 guys around me should be able to take me no matter what. It feels a little bit more, well, action-y, as horrible as that is to say, but it's still not rewarding. Maybe there's some harder fights, but I don't think so. I've encountered, quote, the strong guys, and they seem a little bit weaker than previous ones. I'm sure there's some guys with armor and better weapons. The game mentioned I can do a counter or a dodge to bullets, which I haven't had to do yet because assassinating 2 guys, alerting a third, then brawling on the remaining 4 has worked out really quite well for me so far. So, not a big issue really, but yeah, I don't know. My biggest gripe, though, with the game, and it's a weird shift, I used to think the parkour system in these games was way too simple. It was, for the most part, hold down a bumper button and press forward, and your character kind of took care of all of it. I'm not sure if they added this jump up, jump down mechanic in Unity, if it's new to this one specifically. They've now added some directionality where you press X to kind of continue up, press circle to continue down. I'm playing this on the PS4, FYI. it'll change what platform you're playing on, and you have a little more control over that, except it's not totally clear when up is actually up or down is actually down, and you can also still just press forward and half the time it happens, and the game is still full of impossible, insane jumps that are cool, but they're inconsistent. Like, again, the parkouring system's always been an issue for me because it's never felt consistently reliable. It's always had a certain amount of, yep, I just jumped 20 feet straight up a wall and then couldn't clear a 4-foot gap. Not sure how that works, but okay. Yeah, and it feels sloppier. I got used to it again, but it's never felt tight and controllable. It's always felt kind of like the character's a bit of a semi-truck wheeling around the environment. Turning radiuses are still a little weird. They're the best they've ever been, but they still feel a little weird. I don't know. I like the fact that you can run, you can get into the free instant and then drop right back into stealth. That's a nice thing that a lot of games might not let you do normally. The game's full of really good tweaks to an existing system, and this might be, at least based on what I've played so far, the best non-boat pirate simulator Assassin's Creed to date, because it's now the gang, the kind of dirty urchin gang warfare simulator that happens to be an Assassin's Creed game. I'm noticing a pattern here. The ones of these I like are generally the ones that have an extra layer of not technically an Assassin's Creed on top of the Assassin's Creed system. But that's not really important. So I've had a couple technical issues. I've had some weird frame rate stuff happening, cutscenes. It's a lot better than it's been in previous games. I haven't had anything game breaking yet, but there's been some weird clipping issues, a little bit of slowdown. When I first booted up the game, the loading screen, which is a weird place to encounter issues like this, was just having the hardest time getting all the way up and spinning. The gears had just massive issues the first time I turned this thing on to get the settings right, which was... I don't know what's up with that. Like, of all the parts in the game that should never experience a frame rate issue, you'd think the loading screen would be one of them because they're the least to render. I don't know, though. Overall, the game seems technically solid. I'm only going on about this because the last game was not. But yeah, I'm enjoying this one. I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would because I'm generally not a big Assassin's Creed fan. I still think the franchise shouldn't be annualized, and I'm really curious about this modern world stuff that I'm guessing I never get to play in this game, but get to kind of witness via cutscenes, more or less as par for all the previous games. But I like the characters. I'm interested in this game. I like the setting. I haven't been a big fan of the last couple settings of the previous games. There's no boats, as best I can tell, which for people that love the pirate stuff and Black Flag will be a bit of an issue. But if you liked the personality and the character of Black Flag, and you didn't like Unity or some of the other stuff, this might actually be one you want to check out because it's got that tongue-in-cheek humor to it. We're not taking ourselves so seriously and we're going to have fun with this. That I think this franchise has generally, unfortunately, missed a little bit. But I digress some. I'm having fun. Surprisingly, I can kind of recommend this one. I feel like I've barely scratched the surface with this game, though. Like, I made the bad joke, I'm doing an hour or two for this, but I might do a second opinion for this. I don't know. Like, I feel like I've barely gotten into a third of the kind of tutorial. The game really hasn't opened up yet, still introducing mechanics, but I am interested, which is something I can't necessarily say about the majority of the Assassin's Creed games I've played. I generally don't care about the games after the first hour. It's, yup, this is Assassin's Creed, where this time around it's, yeah, this is Assassin's Creed. I'm curious where this one's going. But yeah, with that being said, I think I have a chariot or something to go deal with now.
That's a girl. We need to lead them away from Green.
Whoa!
Here comes trouble.
Boost?
Their carriages are easily damaged. Kaylock will rue the day.
Okay, so this is actually... Whoa!
Now to return to Mr. Green.
Aye, aye, Captain.
You're relentless.
That relentlessness will see me become master when we finish this.
George would do nothing of the sort.
Horse
Whatever's left of
carriage.
the Creed would perish under your
Kinda
control.
weird.
Harsh words,
Not
dear
the
sister.
best handling, but kinda weird. And I totally just ran someone down.
Something Wicked Studios.
Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you give us a thumbs up down below, you share us with all your friends, and you subscribe to the channel. If you're looking for more videos right now, we've got a whole bunch of ones all over the channel you can get to by the links below. If you hit the random button, I promise to send you to a good one. You know you want to. Press it. Press it.